Well, a culture of silence with complete, even cruel indifference. That's how an explosive new report is describing the response by the French Catholic Church to 7 decades of sexual abuse. The results of the investigation found more than 200,000 minors were sexually exploited by French Catholic clergy since 1950. That number jumps to 330,000 when you add non-clergy members. And the head of the commission that issued the report says that abuse is still happening.
Ces nombres.
These numbers of 216,000 and 330,000 are far more than concerning. They're appalling and must absolutely not remain unanswered. They require very strong action.
Well, the report reveals the scale of abuse in France is far more severe than previously thought. CNN's Jim Bitterman is following the story and joins us now from Paris. So, Jim, not only did the report find that it's far more pervasive, far more systematic than previously thought, it also found that the church hierarchy repeatedly silenced the victims.
That's one of the things I think, Linda, that most people were, at least seemed to be the most appalled about, was the overall indifference of the church hierarchy to something that went on for years and may still be going on today, according to the Commission's report. So it is really something that they haven't acted sooner on this. Probably the most dramatic moment in this press conference came this morning from Francois Deveau, who's the head of the Victims Association, and in a very firm way, he said, spacing out his words very carefully, he said, "You must pay for these crimes," spacing out each word, and then he said it'll be in the billions. And so it was probably a news conference that put into absolute face-to-face relationship not only the Victims Association, but also the heads of the Catholic Church in France. Here's a bit more of what Deveau had to say.
Vous êtes une honte.
What you must understand is that you are a disgrace to humanity. You have trodden all over the natural obligation to defend the right and dignity of these people.
So Deveau said that, and then the head of the Catholic Bishops Association responded with this. He said, "To those victims of such acts, I express my shame, my dread, and my determination to act with them." Now, that may not be enough, because the victims, as Deveau said, are looking for perhaps billions in compensation, something that may be a little difficult for the Catholic Church in France to come up with, because it is not in that great financial shape. But nonetheless, after this testimony today, I think the overwhelming opinion is that they've got to do something. This news conference was probably the start of that. They're also going to send out a message to the church believers on Sunday. They're going to send out a message to be read in all the pulpits around France. But it's going to be a real blow to the Catholic Church moving forward, Linda.
Yeah, absolutely. Jim Bitterman for us in Paris. We are going to stay on this story. Thanks so much, Jim. Well, in response to that report, Pope Francis expressed great sorrow for sexual abuse victims following that release, and he praised them for their courage in coming forward. I want to introduce senior Vatican analyst John Allen for more on all of this. He joins us now live from Rome. John, so we heard Pope Francis expressing sorrow and sadness for the victims in a statement from the Vatican. What do you make of his reaction so far, and what more can we expect to hear from the Pope?
Well, Linda, first of all, I think it's striking that we got a reaction as quickly as we did. In the past, when these major national level reports on clerical sexual abuse were issued, whether we're talking about the John Jay report in the United States in the early 2000s, the Ryan report in Ireland in 2009, more recently the report in Germany, the Vatican has not reacted immediately, taking the position that this is something for the local bishops to handle. But I think what they've learned on the back of all of that and the backlash they got was that anything that smacks of indifference or delay is not going to go down well. So I think the first point is simply that the Pope spoke. Secondly, I thought it was striking that at the end of his brief statement, he said that he was praying both for justice and for healing. Now, use of the word justice in that context is a reference to criminal prosecution and also civil lawsuits. In the past, there's been heavy criticism of the church for not cooperating with those inquiries. I think this was Francis's way of saying we need to turn over a new leaf.
John, you mentioned some of the other cases that we've seen around the world, and I just want to go through some of those for our viewers because this investigation in France certainly follows other reports from other countries. If you look at Australia, the 2017 report found that 7% of Australian priests were accused of abusing children between 1950 to 2015. And then if you look, of course, in Germany, a 2018 report found that the German Catholic Church admitted to at least 3,677 cases of child sex abuse by clergy between 1946 and 2014. And then, of course, England and Wales, a 2020 report found that between 1970 and 2015, the church received over 900 complaints involving more than 3,000 cases of child sex abuse. But I have to ask you, John, despite the numbers, despite the reports we've seen over the last few years, very few people high up in the church hierarchy have really faced repercussions, right?
Well, I mean, if you mean criminal prosecutions, no. The only, at the most senior level, cardinal, of course, Theodore McCarrick, former cardinal, former priest in the United States, is currently undergoing criminal prosecution, but that's for abuse he allegedly committed himself, not for the cover-up of it all. On the other hand, look, I think one thing that should not get lost in all of this is that this new report in France is not the result of an external governmental commission or some other external authority. This was actually commissioned by the French bishops. And so these revelations, as ugly and staggering as they are, is something that the church in France has decided to bring upon itself as, you know, under the heading of the only way out is through. And that's not something that a National Bishops' Conference would have done up until very recently. And that, I suppose, is some measure of some kind of progress, Linda.
Okay, John Allen for us. Always good to get your analysis. Thanks for joining us.